Do you always experience wider armholes whenever you're making a sleeveless dress? Come, let me give you a solution to that. Hello beautiful people, my name is Chinaza Victory and you're welcome back to Nazi Stars YouTube channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to perfectly cut and sew this beautiful Maxi sleeveless flared dress, which is also known as an umbrella dress. If this sounds like something you would love to learn, please keep watching and make sure to watch to the end. Let's get right into the video. I'll be using this Ankara fabric, and here I have about 6 yards. Okay, then this is a lining fabric. I'll be using part of it for the facing and half lining. Out of the 6 yards of Ankara fabric, I cut out 4 yards of the Ankara. So I'll pick up the 2 edges of the Ankara this way, and I'm going to be folding it. Okay, I'll fold it to be equal. I am folding the 4 yards. So I folded it into 2 equal parts. Okay, please take note of where the right top on the Ankara is. The upper side is the folded side, okay, and this other side is open. So I want you to take note of this. I'll come to the top of the fabric, which is the folded part. I'll pick up the tip. Okay, when I pick it up, I am going to be slanting it. Just watch and see how I'm going to be slanting this Ankara fabric now. Okay, this is how to fold for an umbrella dress, okay, even for a circle dress. Now the more the slants, the more volume you get around the down part of the Ankara. So watch and see how I'm going to be folding this down part now. Just slant it to get a shape that looks like a triangle, okay, but it's not going to be completely like a triangle. Just watch and see how I'm going to achieve the fold. This is the way the fabric should look like after folding it. Okay, please look at it very well before I start with the measurements. Make sure that your own is folded exactly this way. You know this is a sleeveless dress, right? Now there are some important calculations you should take note of when making a sleeveless dress. Okay, there are some things that you will do that you don't do when you're making a dress with a sleeve. Now let me take you through the calculations. The measurements you need are your shoulder measurement, the bust circumference, and your floor length. Okay, the length of the dress. This is how long you want it to be. Even if you want it to be short, there is no problem. If you want it to be long, it's still perfect. Sometimes after making a sleeveless dress, you notice that the armhole area is a little bit wide. Okay, now I'll be making that correction in this video, so I would like you to pay very close attention. You know, on a normal day when you're making a dress with a sleeve, we usually get the chest line by using this formula, which is the bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then you now add extra 1 inch for the shoulder slope. This is the normal one when you're making a dress with a sleeve. But for a sleeveless, the case is different. Here you're going to be making use of only your bust circumference divided by 6, and that is it. You just divide your bust circumference by 6, then you add your normal 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Okay, another important calculation to do when you're making a sleeveless dress is the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement of a sleeveless dress is different from the shoulder measurement of a dress with a sleeve. Now for a sleeveless dress, to get the right shoulder measurement, you're going to be dividing your shoulder width by 2. You get half of your shoulder measurement minus 1 inch. Okay, just subtract 1 inch from half of your shoulder measurement before adding extra 0.5 for the same allowance. For example, my shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. That is my sleeveless shoulder measurement. Then I'll now add extra 0.5 to it, making it 7.5. Now when you look at this folded fabric, you notice that the upper side of the fabric is kind of slim. As the fabric is coming down, as the slant is coming down, it's getting wider towards the hem. Now to get the particular part of the fabric where to start from, you're going to be using your bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch ease. If you want more ease around the bust, you can add about 2 inches ease, then plus extra 1 inch for the same allowance. When I calculated mine, I got 12.25. I will use my tape to locate where I can get that 12.25. See what I am doing? I'm trying to look for the 12.25, the place that is wide enough to accommodate that 12.25. Okay, now that I've gotten it, I'll just mark it. I'll place a mark there and use my straight ruler to rule out to connect the two marks. This particular line I am marking now is my chest line. Just follow me, okay? This is my chest line. Now I'm going to be determining the shoulder line from this chest line. Okay, now starting from this chest line, I'm going to be going up by my shoulder line. Remember, I already told you how to do that. So from this line now, you will now go up by that chest line calculation that we did, which is the bust circumference divided by 6 plus extra 1 inch for the shoulder slants. So that's what I'm going to mark now. My own gave me 7.75, so I'm going to go up by 7.75. Then I'll place a mark there, then bring in my straight ruler and rule the line. That is now the shoulder line and also the starting point. So I've gotten the shoulder line and the chest line. The next measurement I'm going to be taking now is the length of the dress, how long you want it to be. So starting from the shoulder line, I'm going to mark the length of my dress, which is 60 inches plus extra 1.5 inch for the hem allowance. I'll do that now and connect it, and then I'll show you. So here is the 60 inches mark and the 1.5 inches for the hem allowance. The neck width I'll be making use of is 3.5 inches. Okay, if you're on the bigger size, you can make use of 4 inches. Just check out the particular measurement that will be okay to accommodate your head, because there is no zipper on this dress and there is no button as well. So for the front neck depth, I'll be making use of 3.5 inches as well. I'm going to be connecting it, and then I'll use my free hand to curve it out. I'll measure and mark 1.5 inches for the back neck depth. I'm going to mark it out, then I'll also curve it out and connect it to the neck width. Then I'll mark half of my shoulder measurement minus 1 plus extra 0.5 for the same allowance. I'll also proceed to mark the same measurement on the chest line. From the shoulder measurement, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope or the shoulder slant. Then I'll connect it to the mark on the chest line. After that, I'll also connect the shoulder slope to the neck width. On the chest line, I'll measure and mark my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch ease plus extra 1 inch for the size seam allowance. Now the ease depends on how much allowance you want around the bust area. I'll use my tape to get the midpoint of the armhole line. I'll just divide my tape into two to get the middle of the armhole line. Then I'll place a mark there. I'll then get my French curve and curve out the back armhole. For the front armhole, I'll come in from that midpoint by 0.5 inch. Then I'll proceed to curve out the front armhole. The next thing I'll do is to pick up my very long ruler and connect the mark on the chest line to the hem. I'll connect it all the way to the hem. At the hem, I'm not doing any measurement there. The wideness is okay for me. Okay, I'm not marking any measurement. I'm using everything I have there. I'll just connect it to that part of the hem. I'll then add 0.5 inch to the men's shoulder line for the shoulder joining allowance. I will then proceed to cut out, and as usual I'm going to be cutting through the back neckline first. Okay, when I get to the neckline area, I'll cut the back neckline first. I'll cut through the shoulder, the armhole, the side, and down to the hem. To get where my pocket will be starting from, I will measure starting from the armhole. I'll come down by 7 inches and place a notch there. This will guide me when I'll be sewing my pocket. Before cutting out the front neckline and the front armhole, I'll first of all separate the back bodies from the front bodies. Okay, I'll take away the back bodies first, then I'll rearrange the front bodies and arrange it very well, align it at the neckline and around the shoulder. Then I'll proceed to cut out the front neckline and the front armhole. So I'll be making use of this lining fabric for the facing. I went ahead to iron my hairstay on it to make it a little bit stable. The measurement I have here is 13 inches by 14 inches on fold. Okay, and I have it in 2 places. This particular one will be for the front bodies. I also have another one like this for the back body. So I'll come in with the front bodies first, and I'm going to be placing it on top of this facing. I'll make sure that the folded parts of the front bodies aligns with the folded part of this piece of fabric, and I'll make sure that I have a little space around the neckline and the shoulder as well, because I'm going to be trimming off that part. Then after arranging it, I'll proceed to cut out the neckline area, the shoulder area, the armhole. Then I'll come down from the armhole. I'm going to come down by around 5 inches, and then I'll proceed to cut out. I'll go ahead and repeat the same process for the back bodies. Okay, I place the facing on fold, I place the back bodies on top of it, I align the folded parts, the neckline and the shoulder. So I'll cut out through the neckline, the shoulder, the armhole. I'll also come down by 5 inches from the armhole. So I've placed the front bodies and the front facing, right side facing each other. As you can see, I used my pin to hold it down around the neckline. I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to be sewing 0.5 inch round it. I will notch it and then top stitch the same allowance to the facing. I'll also repeat the same thing for the back bodies. I'll go and sew it and then I'll show you the outcome. So this is what it looks like after turning the neckline. Okay, I've also done the same thing for the back bodies. I've gone ahead to cut out 4 pieces of fabric for the pocket, and the measurement is around 8 inches by 9 inches. I'll be using it for the inner pocket. I'll first of all locate the notch I placed by the side of the front and the back bodies. Remember, I placed a notch for the pockets, so I'm going to place my pocket piece starting from that notch this way, right side of the pocket piece facing the right side of the fabric. I'll pin it down. I'll do the same thing to all the sides of both the front bodies and the back bodies. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and join the pocket pieces to the bodies using 1 inch. To join the shoulder, I will place the front bodies and the back bodies right side facing each other this way. Now look at the way I'm going to be flipping the lining and the main bodies. You're going to place it lining to lining and fabric to fabric. See the way I'm arranging it, right? Make sure that that neckline, that seam around the neckline aligns very well. Okay, then I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to be sewing 1/2 inch, and I'll repeat the same process on the other parts of the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, the next thing is to finish up the armhole in a very professional way. Now if you don't want to go through all this stress, you can simply make use of your bias tape to finish up both the neckline and the armhole. But me, I prefer to make use of facing because it gives it a very neat finishing. Now pay close attention to what I am about to do now. I will lift up this side of the lining or facing, then I'm going to be pushing the Ankara fabric under it. I'll push it to the other side of the armhole this way. Just watch what I am doing carefully, you understand it. When I push it, I will then go to that side and pull it out. That particular one that I pushed under, I'll pull it out. After pulling it out, I will then bring this facing, the one that I lifted up, I'll place it on top of it. Now the right side of the fabric is now facing the right side of the facing around the armhole. Now this is how to know that you're getting it. The right side of your fabric will now be facing the right side of the lining or facing. Okay, now we'll pin it down to making sure that the shoulder seam aligns very well. The shoulder seam of the lining and the shoulder seam of the fabric, make sure that it aligns well. I'll also make use of my pin to pin down the rest of the armhole. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew on that part using 0.5 inch. Then after sewing it, I'm going to notch it round and then reduce the seam allowance. I'll do all that, then I'll show you. So this is what it looks like after sewing it. As you can see, I notched it round and reduced the seam allowance around the armhole. The next thing I'm going to do now is to put my hand inside and bring out the other part of the fabric this way. Look at the way I'm pulling it. Okay, you ensure to do that carefully. By the time you pull out that part of the fabric, you'll notice that the armhole that we just finished sewing will appear very neat. Okay, then I will take it to my ironing table and give it a very nice press. To finish up the other part of the armhole, I'm going to be repeating the same process. I will lift up the other part of the lining, okay, this way, and I'm going to be pushing the Ankara, the other side of the armhole that I'm yet to finish up. I'll push the Ankara side under it to come and meet this other to meet the facing on this other part this way. Now that I've moved it, you can see that the right side of the lining is now facing the right side of the main fabric. I'm going to align it at the shoulder the same way I did for the front. I'll go and sew 0.5 inch and also turn it. After doing that, the armhole area should look this way. See how neat and beautiful it looks. So I'll take it to my ironing table and give it a very nice press. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take this to my sewing machine. You can pin it down first if you want. I'll then go and join the sides. Now, if you're not a fan of very neat finishing, you can just proceed to join it like this, okay? You can just join it. It will still come out fine. But for me, I would love to complete the professional finishing that I've already started. Look at the way I am placing the lining and the fabric. I'll be placing it lining to lining and fabric to fabric. I will start sewing starting from the lining. I will now come down to the fabric and continue sewing. When I get to the pocket area, I'll align it properly first, then I will sew the pocket. I'll come in and sew it round it, okay? I'll sew round and come out on this other side and continue sewing till I get to the hem of the dress. I'll repeat the same process on the other side of the dress. Okay, then I'll come back and show you the final outcome. After sewing and ironing, we have our beautiful Maxi sleeveless flared dress. See how neat the armhole area looks. See how neatly finished everything looks. Okay, so please remember to also finish up the hem. So my beautiful people, if this video was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you're yet to do that, and don't forget to leave a comment below. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. I will make sure to reply to all the questions. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and see you in my next video. Bye.